Well, my friend, I hope you are ready to laugh and laugh a lot. We have got the Bob and Tom Show Comedy Night coming up at the Mason City Arena. In fact, we're scrolling the place where you need to get tickets, masoncityarena.com/Godwin, as we have Pat Godwin of the Bob and Tom Show. And opening up for him is Jeff Oskay, who is with us here today. In fact, enjoying a nice Bob and Tom vacation week
That's
this week.
right.
What do you guys do when you're on vacation?
Uh,
I mean, do you
well,
all go your separate ways, or it's like you?
yeah, you'd be surprised. It's everywhere from fly to a different country for a tour to stay at home and mow your grass, which is where I was at.
Okay,
Cutting up some tree limbs, taking my kid to a kickboxing class.
yeah,
My kid the other night, he came out of kickboxing class. He's 16, but he takes it with all adults.
right.
And he came out, and I could tell he was upset. And I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Oh, this guy beat me up really bad today." And I go, "Yeah, you're taking kickboxing." And then he's like, "No, but he didn't go easy. Like he kept punching me, he kept hitting me. And he's a grown man. He's got all these
Right.
muscles." And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you want me to do about it? He's a grown man with a bunch of muscles who knows how to fight.
There you
I
go.
can't say anything to him. What do you want me to do? Hit him in the parking lot with my truck?" Because that's the only way I can have any effect on this man. Like, I got an idea. Quit taking kickboxing if you don't like being hit. I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't do anything for you. I'm old, fat, and I don't know how to fight. So you're screwed, buddy.
Are you married with kids?
I'm with kids.
Oh, okay. You're not married,
No,
but you have
no.
kids.
I've been married a few times. Women
Oh.
love to marry me. They just don't love to stay married to me. So,
Okay. I
yeah.
understand. Looks like you got the nice lumberjack look going on. You've had that, I think, all this time I've known you on Bob and Tom, maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty lazy. I don't like
Yeah.
to, I don't like to too much
You know,
tending of the facial hair or anything. And the best part about looking like this, no one ever asks me for money.
there you go.
If anything, people just tell me they don't have any money on them. I'm like, I didn't even ask, but that's good to
Yeah.
know.
Well, you're going to be appearing with Pat Godwin here coming up on Saturday, the 29th at the Mason City Arena. First of all, have you been to Iowa before?
I have not. Is
Okay.
it
A lot of the guys on the show have been here. Have they talked to you about that? Oh, you're
no,
going to Iowa, man. Oh, wait till you gotta go to the Hobo Museum in Britt, and
the
and
what museum?
they have a hobo museum there.
Well,
In
that's
Britt.
where I don't go because they're like,
Okay.
the kids are like, "Oh, look, they brought one in for the day. We can ask it questions."
If you showed up in Britt now, they'd think that you were early
Right.
because
They're like,
Hobo Days is coming up in actually a few weeks.
"Oh,
So,
really?
yeah,
Oh, next time I'm going to
it's a huge
schedule
thing.
coming during hobo days. That way I can do 2 for 1.
There you go. You can do a free show for the hobos.
That's great. You guys actually have hobo days?
Well, yeah, it's a town that's about 30 miles from here. Yeah.
That's great. That
Yeah.
sounds like so much fun. Get a
Yeah.
bindle, eat some pork and beans.
I'm surprised Josh never told you about that because he's been here before. Willie's been here before.
No,
Uh,
they said it's a great place to go, but they never told me about hobo days.
yeah. And then you got to stop by the surf. You got to see the surf ballroom. We're the ones that was the last place that Buddy Holly ever played, but it's a great
Oh, yeah, I
rock and
do
roll
remember
museum.
that.
Yeah.
Josh did tell me to check that out, so
Okay.
I
Well,
will be checking that out.
that's kind of our little twin city. It's Mason City, Clear Lake. You're, of course, going to be in Mason City when you perform. But how long has the circuit been going with you and Pat?
A couple years. I mean, to be
Okay.
honest, I used to work with Pat before either of us were on the show. Back
Oh, really? Okay.
12 years ago, I used to open for Pat.
Oh, really?
And yeah, actually, one of the one of the weirdest. I was fairly new to comedy. I had about 20 solid minutes, and
Yeah.
I was opening for him. And I'm down to my last joke, and I noticed there's sirens outside.
Mhm.
And Pat had had a heart attack while I was on stage.
Oh my!
I was unaware of this. I just look over to my stool, and the owner slips me a note that says, "Pat's going to the hospital. Go long." And
Really long.
yeah, but what the owner didn't know was I had already told every joke I had ever written.
Oh no!
And I was on my last joke I've ever had. And so
Oh
I
no!
just pretty much for the next 45 minutes had to be like, what do you guys want to talk about? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
And I had no idea. He didn't tell me what happened. He just said Pat had to go to the hospital. So I'm worried about my friend and I'm worried about the show. And at one time I go, hey, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. I got to run out to my car and grab my notebook. We're going to try some new material tonight. And the crowd was great and Pat turned out to be fine. But yeah, so after the thing, I drove over to the hospital to see Pat. And, luckily,
you know what you could have done maybe is grabbed his guitar and redo your whole show again, only with
Well, that was the thing. I couldn't find his guitar.
Oh,
I think he took it with him to the hospital. He was probably singing songs on the gurney the whole way there.
Oh man! So that was 12 years ago that you actually you opened up for him. Then
yeah, I've known Pat for quite a while. He's been he's been a master he's kind of in our state. He's the man. You kind of look up to Pat.
How do you describe your comedy? We know you're from the Bob and Tom Show, but how do you describe the comedy? Obviously, people can look you up on YouTube and things like that. But
yeah, well, there's nothing good on there. I wouldn't. All my stuff is from like 12 years ago. I'm much better now. I talk a lot about my kids and family and having stepdaughters and lots of stories. It's fairly, for a while, I talk a lot about backyard chickens. Do you guys have those in your state? Well, you guys probably just have chickens. You guys probably don't limit them to the backyard, do you?
You got lots of farmland around.
You probably free range.
Free range everything. You got it.
Where I'm from, you got to keep them in your backyard or the neighbors complain. So
you want chickens from Iowa, man. I'm telling you, because all the farmers around here that have them, that you'll have 8 to 10 pound chickens.
Oh, I believe it. I had
turkeys almost.
I had 13 chickens at one time. I'm now down to 0 because I got tired of feeding all the neighborhood raccoons. Oh, and it kind of turned into an all-you-can-eat like raccoon buffet. So after about my 30th chicken, I was done feeding the neighborhood. So.
Obviously. So when did you get into this business then? How young were you?
I've been doing stand-up for 15 years now, kind of off and on. Before that, I used to be a stockbroker. I did some landscaping for about 8 years. Me and Frederico and Osmar used to go out and beautify people's yards, which I always loved because sometimes I'd get recognized landscaping. I'd be one day I'm shoveling compost. You guys are very, and there was a lot, an S ton of it. And I'm shoveling and I'm talking, the fence guy shows up and we're talking. He goes, man, your voice sounds familiar. And I'm just shoveling, hating life, questioning every decision I had made in 42 years of life, which had led me to shoveling And I go, yeah, sometimes I'm on the radio. And he goes, where? And I go, sometimes I get to guest host on the Bob and Tom Show. He goes, that's right. You're a stand-up comedian, right? And I'm like, yeah, I feel like one right now. And I just go back to shoveling compost. And then he has the nerve to do one of these. He kind of looks around and goes, hey, man, I don't mean to get too personal, but does stand-up comedy pay pretty good?
Yeah, really.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just moving this stuff here pro bono. Part of my Make America's Yards Great Again tour.
I make money, but I'm out here just shoveling.
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it, exactly.
Just trying to beautify rich people's yards because that's my goal in life.
So, did you ever get to be on the Bob and Tom Show as a guest before they actually hired you to come on the show?
Yeah, I guest hosted back when Bob left. I was on a couple times before Bob retired. I've been on. Plus, I've written for Tom for the last 10 years. Okay. So I'm friends with Tom and the guys, and I've known all of them for 10, 15 years. So slowly working my way in. I used to write from home at night and send everything to Tom. And then when Jeff Vibert left, I kind of messaged him. I was like, hey, I can press buttons and switch cameras. Why don't you let me have a shot at it? And so he brought me in to do that. And since then, I've picked up, I do some character work, and I have my little segment every Friday, the Failed to Mention News. And so I'm loving it. Life is great. I can't ask for any more. This is a dream come true.
Is it just Fridays, or do you actually do more? But like you said,
sometimes I slip them in during the week if I'm trying to promote a show. They're pretty nice. They let me on whenever I want to.
Well, it's a great staple. I mean, it really is. You talked about this, but you forgot to mention, this.
And it's always hit or miss, which is fun because even when they don't work, they have more fun when they don't work because then they can harass me. Sure. And it's like being in the hallways here, so it's fun.
What's something that we don't know about Jeff Oskay that we could that might well, I don't want to shock the people, but I mean, like, what's something that we don't get to hear about? We get to hear your character, but what's
I used to from 22 to about 35. I worked in the brokerage industry. I was a stockbroker. I didn't look like this. Obviously, people don't give you money when you look like that. I mean, they do, but it's like, hey, good luck, buddy. And they don't write you $1 million checks when you look like this. So I actually used to wear a suit and tie and be shaved and showered and presentable to the world. And people are always stunned by that. And they're like, how come you aren't a stockbroker anymore? I was like, well, just because I was one doesn't mean I was a good one.
Yeah.
Like, anyone can, all you got to do is take a test. If you pass, you're one. Like, it doesn't mean you're a good stockbroker. It just means you're a stockbroker. So I got tired of losing everyone's money. So,
that's, I'm curious because actually I have some good friends that are comedians and I never even asked them this question. I'm going to ask you. Do your friends ask you to just put on a free show right there in the backyard of whatever? I mean, come on. You're funny, Jeff. So why don't you tell us? Come on, we need to lighten up this mood a little bit or whatever. I mean, do they do that kind of stuff? I would think any friend would do that.
I actually had a this. I don't know if you could use it, but I was at I had lost a good friend. I was at their funeral. And afterwards, we're back at my friend's parents' house. Okay. And his mother came up and asked me to do 10 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
In the backyard.
Like a wake kind of thing.
To all the mourners who we've just buried my friend. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. And so I go and try to hide in the front yard as Dad comes around and he goes, I'll tell you this, you're going to go back in that backyard and you're going to do 10 minutes for my wife. This is the worst day of her life, and you're going to do those damn jokes. And I was like, yes, sir. And I walked back, and I did 10 minutes to a crowd of people who were like, why is this guy doing stand-up comedy? No one else there knew that their mom had told me to do this, and I was doing it out of respect for my dead friend's parents. And so they just thought I was a jerk who was trying to be funny during the middle of So yes, every once in a while that happens. But
I would think that you would open up like, okay, listen, I'm if you know me, great. If you don't, I'm a stand-up comedian. My name is Jeff Oskay, and I'm a friend of the family. And I guess if you explained yourself first, and so
I think I opened with, "Hey, who here's from out of state?"
Oh, jeez.
Oh, where are you from? I'll talk slower. I was just doing every hack thing I knew just to get through.
You're from Brent, where the hobos are. Yeah.
And luckily, his mom wanted to hear the story I tell about riding the bus back in the day. Right. And so it's about a 10-minute story. So I told the one story and then I bolted. But other than that, no, my friends, they're like, we hear enough of you. We don't need more.
You don't need more. Yeah. And I'm not going to go and pay to see you when you're my friend, right?
Now, I will say this. About once a year, my friends will come out and actually pay to see me. And then afterwards, they'll be like, oh, I thought you would have had more new jokes. And I was like, yeah, those things are hard to write. I gave you a half an hour of new jokes. And they're like, yeah, but I'd heard that one before. It's like, oh, thanks for coming out. Next time, don't.
Well, we are looking forward to this. It's going to be on Saturday night. It's July 29th, and Jeff is going to be opening up for Pat Godwin. And will you actually drive here or fly here together, maybe?
Oh, we're driving.
Okay.
We're making the drive.
It's like a Thelma and Louise across the state. Wow.
Yeah, we'll see how many kids are.
Yeah.
I'm probably bringing a couple kids. Pat's probably bringing his kid. We let them play in the pool all day. They love it. And then go and do some shows. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be so much fun. I have
you guys haven't been here before. You know,
no,
we've had a lot of the comedians from the show here already throughout years because the show has been on the Fox for years, and it's really going to be great to have. I really enjoy. I think the lineup now more than any other year you guys ever had. I think you just have had enough additions here through time that really and Tom's got to be in heaven, I think, with all of you guys because you're all doing your part. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely when Bob retired, there was a weird kind of lull, and now with Josh and Pat, I mean, those two, and even Willie bringing a young aspect to the show, and he's getting a lot of younger fans being brought back in. I get messages every day like, "Hey, I used to listen to this with my dad on the way to school, and now." I'm listening to it with my kids on the way to school, and they're loving it. They love Willie. Like he's talking about stuff that's relatable to the younger crowd. We're covering the older people. We got everybody. So I think it's firing on all cylinders.
If I don't get a chance to talk to Pat here, I want to try to get an interview just like this with Pat here early next week, hopefully. Is he up there with his guitar all the time?
Oh yeah. Yeah, from beginning to end. And
he's doing parodies the whole night, or obviously some.
He has a lot of originals that Tom didn't let him play. So you'll hear a lot of originals.
It's radio, right? Yeah.
And a few parodies, and he's brilliant. If you've never seen him live before, he's masterful. Like I'll do well. Don't get me wrong. I'm hilarious. Yeah. Everyone's going to enjoy my stuff. But then when Pat gets up there, he just brings it home and, destroys standing ovations, just makes me look like I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So you'll love him.
You're like Def Leppard opening up for Kiss.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly. I'll take that. Pour some sugar on me, baby.
There you go. Exactly.
Wait, is that Def Leppard?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Cool. Yeah. You got it right, man. You got it right.
I'm old, man. I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my life. My brain is not firing on all cylinders.
Would you say Pat is who you're closest to then, just because of the fact that you've worked together for so long? Or who are you actually closest with on the show?
Probably Josh.
Really?
Josh brings me, and we're more like the same. We both kind of started at the same time, and we know all the same people. And Josh has been great. He takes me to open for him whenever he goes out on the road a lot of times. And so me and him have spent hundreds of car hours together. And you kind of get, a kind of bond going. Plus, we have a lot of the same references, so know a lot of the same people. But I love Willie. Me and Willie do a lot of shows together.
Okay.
Honestly,
who's headlining when you guys are together?
Me and Willie, usually I'm headlining and Willie's
opening. Okay.
And
we just had Willie opening up for Greg Hahn last year.
It
was New Year's Eve. He had to spend New Year's Eve in Iowa. That's right.
Yeah, Greg Hahn is so good. I've gotten to work with Greg a bunch. I've gotten really lucky. I've gotten to open for some of the best people in the business, and I have a lot of people who are super nice and take me on the road with them, like Matt does, and Josh does, and Greg, and Jimmy Part. All my heroes I get to open for now, so life's good.
I was going to say, who is your biggest hero when it comes to comedy?
Probably Jimmy Pardo is the first one I ever saw live, and I was like, I want to do stand-up comedy, and but Zach Galifianakis, I'm a big fan of. I've gotten open for him a few times.
If you trim up a little bit, you could almost look just like him too.
I get that a little. I get that a little. But like Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, all these people were people who I hung out with and weren't anyone back when I worked with them. And now to see them blow up and sell out these huge stadiums and stuff is just amazing to me. I couldn't be happier.
Well, we hope you enjoy your time here in Iowa. I know that we're going to love it. Mason City Arena, it's July 29th. It's at 8 o'clock show. Jeff will open up here for Pat Godwin. Doors open, I'm pretty sure it's 7 o'clock, the hour before. And I don't know, they just had a country concert that some of the some of the concession stands ran out of beer. Maybe that'll happen too. I mean, I don't know.
I've had that happen before, and I've actually had to go on a beer run for the headliner before. Like, we are going to have enough beer to make it through the headliner. And I head down to the liquor store and get a couple cases. I've been there. I don't mind doing it. We are not going to run out of beer. I promise you that. I'll go buy it myself.
We'll be all stocked up, ready to go for you. You'll love our new arena here. This has been a wonderful thing for our city. We can get if we sell it all out, it's like 4,000 people in there.
Woo!
Yeah. So I don't know. What's the biggest crowd you ever did stand up for?
I think right around 10,000.
Wow.
I did a hockey stadium somewhere in Illinois a few years ago it was a benefit for the Wounded Warrior Foundation.
Okay.
Which is a great foundation for our veterans coming back from the wars to help get them integrated back in life.
Right.
And I think we had right around 10,000 for that.
Okay.
That was pretty amazing.
Well, this is a hockey arena, but a little smaller. It's about half the size.
Well, that'll be great. I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it. And hopefully we pack this out. And I give you a comedy guarantee. You don't have fun, find me after the show, and I'll punch you in your throat.
Yeah. Do you guys bring merch? Obviously, I would hope.
I'll have some merch. I like to sell. I sell CDs after the show. I like to go with the most antiquated form of technology for my fans.
And Blackberries and abacuses.
Exactly. Roadmap, fold out road maps.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we will be hanging out after the show, taking pictures and signing autographs and doing all that. So we like to hang out and meet the fans and chat with everybody after the show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be out.
One more thing I forgot. I wanted to ask you, since you're usually on Friday's show, I don't know when you guys take off to come to Iowa, but will you still be on in the morning? And then you and Pat are probably taking off, right?
Yeah, we'll do our thing, and then I'll take off around noon. After the show, I clip out a bunch of the clips, and I have a bunch of other duties here besides getting to do that. So I'll knock those out, then head on out. So.
All right. Well, I hope I get to. I don't know. I've been talking to Brian. He's the one in charge over there. I asked him if I get a chance to come up and introduce you guys. So
that'd be great.
So it'll be great to meet you then.
Yeah, I'd love to meet you. So
appreciate this stuff though, right here, Jeff. And
thanks for having me on.
You got it. Anytime. And you guys have a safe trip here, and we're looking forward to July 29th. I can't believe it. It's going to be a week from, when we're doing this, it's Friday, the 21st. So yeah, it's on Saturday, July 29th. So
right around the corner, my friend.
You'll be on the road and stopping in Britt probably on the way.
And I will be doing, for all four of my fans out there, I will be doing a live Failed to Mention that night. So
there you go. Oh, sweet. I love it.
I throw that in as a little treat for the four people that enjoy my segment.
I love it. Jeff Oskay opening up for Pat Godwin here coming up July 29th. It's at the Mason City Arena. To get tickets, you go to masoncityarena.com/Godwin. They are $23. So thanks again, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.